Well, my time in TVCC was a great experience. Um, Grew up in a small town there in Trinidad, right down the road, and had visited big schools, but knew that that wasn't the thing for me. One was the money wise. I was able to get my associate's degree for a lot cheaper than what I could if I went straight to a 4-year university. But close to home, 15 minutes from the house, I could commute, save myself a lot of money on room and board and housing, and just knowing that, like I said, the big thing was the class sizes being smaller. I just felt that's where I needed to start out and belong. Mark Robinson, he was had just, I think, fairly new to TVCC, and I had a lot of classes with him, and he's the one that really pushed me. He kept in touch and still keeps in touch, but he was a big influence on me becoming an ag teacher, other than my high school ag teacher, which was a Mr. Robinson as well. So it was kind of a neat deal, but Mark was a big influence. I still keep in touch with him to this day, and try to push as many kids as I can toward him for the ag department and for the show team. I'm gonna say probably the unique thing, it felt like home. Being local and from the Henderson County area, it didn't feel like I was off in a foreign place. And so it kind of made it where, the professors were approachable. You could go to their office if you needed help. Yeah, it was college or it was class, but it never just really felt like you weren't welcome. And so it was a fun time, and I really enjoyed about it. It taught me how to be prepared for college. It was some of my professors I had at TVCC were probably tougher than some of the ones I had at Tarleton. And it just really prepared me and got me ready for what college life was going to be like. Because coming from, like I said, a small high school with 10 or 12 in a class, I wasn't probably the most, I'm going to try to say, studied the hardest. I could just get by being from a small school, and it really prepared me to get me ready. And when I graduated from Tarleton, I was actually the honor graduate for the ag department that year, and was the only one in the group that graduated. I think summa cum laude is the highest degree. I graduated like 4.0 in my 2.5 years at Tarleton. So TVCC really prepared me and got me ready for that, so I could get in and get out quick as possible. Of course, my sister went for 2 years, got her associates. My oldest sister started out and got a lot of her college classes done at TVCC as well. My middle sister ended up going to Oklahoma State and got a business degree, and now she's pretty high up for Co-America Bank in the Dallas area. My dad did go for a couple of semesters whenever he was right out of high school, living over in Trinidad and working at the power plant. Was kind of doing some engineering type learning about that. I seen how beneficial it was to my sisters, and so it kind of influenced me to go. And then, the county was very gracious, and I had lots of scholarships that come to me from people within the county and in the ag department. Mark put me on the show team scholarship, and so it really helped out being able to go there and save myself lots of time and money. Being a high school teacher for 19 years now, I had the privilege, and it's only been high school, classes that are a lot of seniors that I try to encourage them for college, and they ask me, and I recommend junior college to a lot of them. TVCC, I try to push them that way, being an alma mater, and when they actually see on my sign the Cardinal, they're like, "Oh, where'd you go to school?" That's kind of the whole deal. But I think a lot of these kids are just out hard, want to be a big school, and it's not for everybody. And I've had them come back and actually say, "Mr. Phillips, you were right. A&M's tough. It's not me. I'm coming back to a smaller school to help my parents and help me." And TVCC, it really, like I said earlier, it trained me to be college ready. I try to make them understand that there's nothing wrong with a junior college, that you get just as good education. And I was very blessed that all my hours that I took at TVCC transferred to Stephenville to Tarleton. So it made my time there a lot shorter, and I was able to get in and get out, and have been successful ever since then. So I'm really thankful to have the time that I spent there at TVCC. My name's Daniel Phillips, and I am TVCC.